Oh, and here we are. That background music was more nightmare fuel than the original meme music. Hi, how are you? My name's Beta, and today we'll be talking about the most Chad-like cartoon character I think I've ever seen. I don't know if it's the animation, or the music overlaid, or the meme itself, or the character, and his demeanor, and his condescending behavior, but this man has lived rent-free in my head for so long, and I feel like I'm not going to be able to rid myself of him till I do this video. So that's why we're here today. But the character in question just so happens to be Dr. Livesey. Dr. Livesey, Dr. Livesey, last name sounds cool, but it was Dr. Livesey, from the Soviet Union version of the animated cartoon movie Treasure Island, adapted from the novel by Robert Stevenson. And yes, you heard correctly, there is a Soviet Union adaptation of Treasure Island.
Dr. Livesey.
Literally 8 seconds in, and this is the last thing that I saw before I passed out. If you use Twitter or partake in any shitposting, you've probably seen this meme make its rounds back in August of this year, where you saw this little animated sequence of what appears to be 3 pirates walking side by side. You just have this overlaid music that's very catchy and is in sync with the movements of the characters, and it sort of has a menacing aura, which if you didn't know, the music piece is called Why Not by Ghostface Playa, and it's just, let me just show it to you. I'm reacting to this and talking over it so I don't get copyright claimed. The one on the left didn't really know what was going on. The one on the right didn't really care about, but the one in the center had the most Chad-like energy out of all of them. And I don't know if it was because of the video quality, but I couldn't tell if the character in the middle was looking straight ahead, absolutely ballistic, looking like he was about to rip someone's head off, or if it was looking straight up at the ceiling. Now, originally I thought the character was George Washington because I did watch Hamilton the night before with my boyfriend, so I could kind of see some similarities there. He looked like he could punch the air and hurt the person in front of him without even touching them. So mixed with that level of ambiguity with his personality, I was immediately infatuated, and I wanted to learn so much more about him. The reason why I know about this meme is from one of my wonderful perusals of Twitter at 3 a.m. And so what I'll do when I'm trying to fall asleep is I'll break out my iPad, I'll put YouTube on the left side of the screen and Twitter on the right side and scroll through both while watching videos. It's an awful idea, but I love doing it. The video I ended up watching was Treasure Island, but it's only with Dr. Livesey, which was where I found out that the movie in question was some adaptation of Treasure Island. And right as I was watching the video, the last thing to meet my eyes before I passed out was this image. I'm so glad that this is the only time we get to see this in such a detailed manner, because God, that really does leave an impression. I mean, I look at this and I'm like, oh, this is funny. Oh, wait. Oh, not exactly the last thing you want to see before losing consciousness. Because fun fact, I had a wild dream. I woke up in a cold sweat, and the one thing that I can remember from that dream to describe what I saw was, you ever see Cloudy and a Chance of Meatballs? Remember the police officer in like the first few scenes and he's running at Flint, or he's running right at the camera full tilt? Well, picture that scene, but paste the face of Dr. Livesey onto him. Oh my God. So as I was researching a bit of Treasure Island and the character Dr. Livesey, he began as sort of this character that terrified me. Like, I didn't know what made him tick or what his personality was or if he was looking down on me secretly, you know, because he's got that vibe. Oh, that's terrifying. Seeing him just peer out of a window with that smile, that face. I've seen enough commentary YouTube channels to know that he is some level of satirical towards people that he interacts with. You know, it's kind of funny because I planned on using Wikipedia for a lot of the research here, which is kind of sad. You know, I've done multiple research papers and I've been taught this like 5 years in a row in school, but here I am using Wikipedia, and even a step below that, I'm using YouTube comments to justify my points. YouTube comments, of all things, from people who have seen the film or are trying to describe this character from how they're interpreting it, which granted, I'm not really dissecting him in the animation. This is just a weird obsession. This is just me on a crazed rambling at this point. One of the best comments that I saw with regards to him is that he's subtly charging yet innately menacing. That's the thing, he can just pick up a man all passed out with his fingies. Just like this, just pick him up like that, and just prance all the way over. If this isn't an alpha move, I don't know what else is. My therapist is probably going to be saying in the next session, Dr. Livesey from the 1988 animation can't hurt you. Meanwhile, there's the meme. There it is. Rum or death? Which do you want? Which, let me just say about Treasure Island, based on reviews that I've watched and some articles that I've read online, apparently the film is good. And I've only seen like about 10 minutes worth of the film. And based on what people have told me, because I haven't read the novel personally, it's apparently the most true adaptation from the novel. Like, take for example Treasure Planet, which, chef's kiss, absolutely beautiful, my favorite animated film of all time. Which, granted, you know, there's some inspiration from Treasure Island, but in space. It's not an exact adaptation, but the one character that I can draw a similarity from Dr. Livesey to is Dr. Delbert Doppler. That is a weird name. I just called him the doctor dude that looked like a dog. I don't know if you've seen Treasure Planet, but the doctor isn't that socially graceful. You know, he's book smart, he's very factual, but when it comes to execution in the real world, it always ends very sloppy. But in the Soviet Union version, he's an ultra giga sigma chad. Like, he is the exact opposite of it, but also has like the smarts of a doctor. He's way too happy. That's the other thing. If a doctor was way too happy, I mean, granted, this is like supposed to be in the late 1800s, like a century ago. But like nowadays, if a doctor was this happy doing a checkup on me, I'd be booking it out of there. It's kind of weird how you can have both, especially in like, you know, normal stereotypes in other cartoons. Because usually in cartoons, from at least back when I was a kid, you didn't have a smart guy, like a nerdy guy, who was also a chad like this. You always had someone whose name was like Dilbert. Oh, look at that. The guy from Treasure Planet, his name is Dilbert. Makes sense. Low-key, though, we stan Dilbert. Also, Captain Amelia, I wonder how many people were turned into a furry because of her. And also, going back to the animation from the movie itself, apparently they had a lot of moments where they were just flexing the different angles they were showing off. Like, they were able to take the perspective and move it to another angle. And for, like, the late 1980s, it was a big deal. Okay, they just flexed their animation skills there. Did you just see that transition? The perspective change? Making it look like it's on a 3D surface when it's 2D? I see what they're doing. That's why apparently the movie won a lot of awards. The film won the following awards: the Grand Prize in Minsk, 1987, Grand Prize in Kiev, 1989, First Prize on International Cinema Festival of Television Films in Czechoslovakia. Also, fun fact, the movie was produced in Soviet Ukraine and not in Russia. Theoretically, was at the time, because it was the Soviet Union, but that's besides the point. Also, speaking of Dr. Livesey's character, it's apparently the most accurate in terms of the adaptation from the book, because apparently Dr. Livesey's supposed to be a military veteran who apparently was part of like the magistrate, so he's kind of got that personality going outwards throughout the film, at least from what I saw in the 8 minutes where he was in it. But this guy is just, I swear, 100% charisma. Is that the VA? He's got the demeanor, the physical appearance and all. I simp for the Soviet Joker. Oh my god. Please, for the love of God, don't make Dr. Livesey a Tumblr sexy man. I know he's great meme material. He's got a very charismatic and outgoing and somewhat mysterious personality to him. But please, for the love of God, don't turn him into a Tumblr sexy man. We don't need that. I don't need that. Sexypedia? Tumblr sexy man.fan? So it happened, like I said. He is potentially a Tumblr sexy man. But yeah, it gives all the information, British archetypes. DILF. I hate this planet. So to quell your curiosity, yes, he is a Tumblr sexy man, alongside popular figures Reagan, the Onceler, Sands, and F. There's a whole section on his white hair. Upper class is a magistrate. Is this just supposed to be the pros and cons to, like, if someone were to date him? Oh, he's upper class, he's well dressed, he has white hair, perpetual smiler. His walk of a true gigachad is the sole reason why he rose from obscurity to popularity within a few days. Yeah, that makes sense. Dominating. I see. British, despite being from a film regarded to as the Soviet-Russian Treasure Island. That's never gonna get old, that title. Livesey is an Englishman, and a high-class one at that. Ironically, he's confused for being George Washington, the first president of the USA, by Westerners / non-Russians. To be be fair, I did that. Not married, so he's single. Dr. Livesey is a character from the 1988 Soviet animated film Treasure Island, based on a novel of the same name. Back in 2021, the character was popular in the Russian internet community and other post-Soviet countries, becoming the subject of many memes. It would take into 2022 for Livesey to receive more global attention and outside of memes be legitimately thirsted after, which, you know... Oh my god. Which ironically fits his status as a Gigachad. So I'm not going crazy. He really does emanate this vibe. Keter class? He's not an SCP, unless he is. Why is he a Keter class? What? What? So here's the thing. If you go to the Treasure Island Wikipedia page and you scroll all the way down, you'll see the legacy part where there's like a game that was made in 2005. Who cares? But they added in a section for the Dr. Livesey walk meme. In August 2022, Treasure Island became the subject of a popular internet meme. The meme is derived from a looped walk cycle scene in which 3 characters make their way across the room while Dr. Livesey exhibits a highly pronounced swagger. Never in my life would I ever imagine that I'd be on Wikipedia and I would read the word swagger. In the past like half a decade at this point of me being in school and out of school, like I've been taught to never use Wikipedia for any sort of research ever. And here I am using Wikipedia and YouTube comments to sort of justify my points here. But never would I have thought that I would be on Wikipedia at 5 in the morning and read the word swagger. It really does feel like I've jumped into an alternate timeline. Variations of the meme often substitute the Treasure Island characters with ones of other franchises such as Team Fortress 2, Lego, Minecraft, or the Kirby series. It's just so random. Why not just like other animated movies or shows? Like the one that I could easily see happening is Ed, Edd and Eddy. Ed, Edd and Eddy would be perfect for this. Let's see what else we can learn about Dr. Livesey. I want to go through and read some comments that people have left. Dr. Livesey. What happens if I look him up again on YouTube? A YouTube short. Well, this ought to be great. Oh, Jesus. You know, this is pretty cool. I'll admit that. But I also feel pity for the poor people at the gym just trying to work out. They gotta deal with this guy here. I mean, it's cool. I like this. I think this is neat. But at the same time, even though he's not bothering anyone, I can only imagine the poor people just working out at the gym and they just gotta be there with that and be in someone's TikTok. At least he's got the walk. What the fuck are those? Where do people find this stuff? Where do you find these dress shoes that are open-toed? I have to know. You got the outfit as close as you could. I respect it. This was the video I watched back when I was perusing Twitter at 3 a.m. I love that most of the time the animation is rather standard, but then it starts randomly doing very complex 3-dimensional camera movements. Yeah, that's a thing that this film does at a couple of points. It's kind of nutty. Fun fact, the voice actor actually spoke every line with a full face smile too to fit Livesey's manner. I've got nothing more to say about him besides he's an absolute Chad. The fact that he terrifies me and he's a cartoon character from like the late 1980s should at least be some proof in and of itself. I don't think that's proof. I think that's more of me being weird. But besides that, I've got nothing else to talk about him. If you want to watch me talk about more stuff like this live, be sure to follow me on Twitch if you haven't already. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I've got a Patreon and a Twitter and all that if you want to go and follow me there. But ultimately, just you being you is all I could ask for. Have a wonderful day as always. Thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful day. And as always, stay life jacket. Take care.